By now, you've probably already seen the video about the 3 archer ranges, the time I made that big mistake and used a transport ship and showed up on the wrong island. It was embarrassing, and you guys are still making jokes about it. So I assume you have seen that. If you haven't seen that, check the description. That was an interesting game from the past. And you know, as I go into this game and we speed up a little bit through Dark Age here, welcome everybody to the video. You could look at that and you could say, wow, that's a big negative for you, T90. Wow, we can make jokes about how bad you are with transport ships. But you also could look at it and say, T90, man, you're a trendsetter. And I'm not sure, it might be a bit of an exaggeration to say this, but I might just have set a new trend here. Yeah, I misspoke slightly, but it's all good. Welcome. 1v1 Islands game. Just played this, okay? And I want to show you something. So, I'm up against a player who, well, you can see there's Elo at the bottom. Oh, you can't see his Elo at the bottom, right? 2100, 2200 rated player, top 150, top 200, and really good on water maps. And I wanted to try a landing because I was like, you know what? I've tried the meta stuff, the whole fighting for water stuff. Let's try a transport ship, okay? So we're speeding through the early stages of this game because that's not really as relevant, and I know how you guys operate. You guys have tight schedules, all right? And you want to get to the action right away. And if you appreciate this little speed up in Dark Age on occasion, I won't do this all the time, you can let me know with a comment. But yeah, the name of the game here on Islands is generally water control, and what I wanted to try and do, as dangerous as it is for someone with my reputation, is I wanted to take the fight away from water as much as possible, all right? So here is the Illusionist Doc. Very good player. I think he's from like Slovakia or something. Slovakia, one of those two. Anyways, Italians have cheaper fishing ships, cheaper dock techs. Japanese are good on water. And there are various bonuses at play. But the main bonus that I'm going to utilize here is the savings of the wood with the cheaper mining camps, mills, and lumber camps. All right? So you can see from my perspective, I'm fishing away as well. Fishing ship's very important. It gives you lots of good food eco. And again, I'm thinking, let's go for a transport. He is on his way to feudal age faster than me. And this whole build order, everything about it, is designed to have these fishing ships as your only food income, because that's all you need to produce vills, and just flooding the map with fire ships, right? Mr. Build Order Andy over here going for the fire ships, and here I go with my transport. And now this is where it gets interesting. All right. So, here I am. And here's a couple tips for you if you're ever going to do this, all right? You want to make your barracks at home. That's an extra building that they could accidentally scout, and then they know you're there. You don't really need the barracks to rush. So make the barracks at home. Now, here I go, and I'm trying to stay as safe as possible, guys. And I'm like, wait a second. This water is really close to the edge of the map, or I should say this land, rather, is really close to the edge of the map. Now, let me pause real quick just to show you, because this is going to get crazy. Obviously, I'm going to go for a rush, okay? But with his designed play, he's over here, and he's going to go for Navy. And my whole play is to avoid the Navy. And yeah, I've got Japanese fishing ships. These things are tanky. Look at all the HP. That's great. But I'm still not going to have the Navy. So, you know, I was thinking, like, oh, gosh, I guess I'm just going to lose my fishing ships. But wait, I have an idea. Check it out. Again, I don't make mistakes. I set the trends. Granted, you can't, if you ever want to try this, you can't count on the map gen being like this. But, okay, so I'm going to make my stable. The plan was to go scouts, okay? And I'm like, I'm going to run with my fishing ships. Now, it's one thing to dock the opponent's side and fish sneakily in their corner. It's a completely other thing to dock block it. He literally can't pass through here. Now, at this point, this is his point of view. Again, Mr. Meta Man over here. Making those fires, trying to find my fish. Does not have the scouting on this side, so doesn't know that I'm here yet. And believe me, this game isn't over. This now turns into a really interesting game. But man, win or lose, I was already like, oh, I can't wait to show YouTube. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys. Because how often can you do this? So yeah, now, let's look at it from his perspective. He's going to find my dock, and usually the first thought is, okay, let's find his fish. And he's like, his fish aren't here. And now was a bit unfortunate in that he didn't have any resources on this side. That could have been a beneficial thing for me too, to be honest. But I think he knows something's up. Yep, he just scouted that dock. Just scouted my archery range. And then here I come with my 2 scouts. Now, it's key for him to kill the fish because he is the greater navy. And so now he's looking for it. He's trying to find the fishing ships as he sends his navy forward. Great defense from him, honestly. The walls are very well placed. He brings his scout over. And now I'm trying to group up all my scouts together. Now, it's important that I had brought my transport down here because I can use that bad boy. And he's got to grab a barracks to go for the spearmen. Now, look. He's looking for my fish. And he can't access them. He can even see them. They're staring at him on the other side. But he can't actually access my fishing ships because I have blocked this off with a dock. Giving me precious time, obviously, to pressure a little bit here on land. But, hey, he's doing a really good job still when this game continues. And I've used my little transport to loop on by this way. And this gets really messy. Now, he is looking for my fishing ship, so he's coming around. Not my best scout micro. I always think control in these areas. Keep the army alive. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm also trying to make navy here because he's distracted elsewhere. So I'm trying to think about coming back on water. I must have killed one of my villagers. No, I guess he killed the villager that was over here. I'm not exactly sure, but he did kill a villager. Again, he's defended super nicely. And there I am with my transport ship. And I needed the archers across. Had he not walled that, my archers would loop over and kill the spearmen. But anyways, my fishing ships are still working away. His fishing ships are too, though. I haven't been able to kill those yet. And really awkward spot to micro an army. The tower was a really smart move. My transport ship's still alive for the time being, guys. So that's pretty nice. As I send a fire ship out this way, and then over here, I've now surprised him. So the beauty of a landing in the first place is the fact that they are distracted. But the downside of the landing is that they are going to kill your fish. So the whole dock block play here has allowed my fishing ships to continue to work, and it has kept him guessing a lot, having to send some navy around the wrong way at times. Now, I'm trying my best to micro here, and so don't judge me for anything that happens over here. I don't know if I'm going to win or lose these battles, honestly. I wasn't even looking there. I'm just trying not to throw my army away and trying my best to stay in a good position to harass him. But yeah, looks like it's been decent. It's a close game, 5-4 eco KD. Or sorry, 6-4 total KD. And behind this, I'm trying to farm and do all these different things to eventually get resources for the next stage. But, you know, I felt like I've done enough damage. But now he starts to defend a little bit. He's made some range units. Now, until now, I didn't even know where his dock was. That's like unheard of for islands, right? Had no clue where his dock was. So here I come with a fire galley. Again, fishing ship still kind of working. Not the most efficient. And oftentimes, and this is maybe something he could have tried to do a little bit more of, if your opponent isn't trying to kill your fish, oftentimes it's best to add fishing ships. But I think just because of the pressure of the landing in general, he hasn't really been able to focus on that. Here my fire ship comes in from the back dock. He's like, what? And we're able to finally kill the villager. I mean, we haven't killed any eco this whole game, which is wild. He's had less TC idle time than me, too. And I'm like, well, you know what? I have been on gold for a bit. I've been on berries. I'm close. So I'm thinking, let's end this game. Let's end it fast. Japanese, they struggle against Italians if the game goes on for a while. And he's clearly thinking about the same there with the market. But he cannot access this area at all with his navy. I mean, not easily. He was kind of split up, which allowed us to have our fun. And there I am with the market using it to the best of my ability. And we're going to head up to Castle Age. A little bit of micro is needed here to keep our ships alive because I still want to ultimately go back on water. You thought I was finished with archers? Aha! I wasn't finished with archers. You were too distracted being jealous about my dock, weren't you? I'm so proud of it. If you can't tell, like, I'm not proud of a lot, you know? But, like, that... The fact that I was able to get that down is just beautiful, man. But, all right, so the idea, again, about the landing in general, dock block aside, is you force them into a position where they have to respect you on land. And then as they respect you on land, you switch into water. And he very well knows that. He's got his docks, and he's still got some good Navy numbers out there. He is going to get fletching before me. I kept sitting my archers here, but archers without fletching feels like they don't see anything, man. And I was trying to kill that villager, but he's repairing his ships. Something that I, like, tried to command my villagers to do, but you got to click them to the shoreline, and I'm a little lazy, not going to lie. Still got good vision over his stone and gold in the long term, too, so as long as those buildings have the potential to produce, I'll be in a happy position. And now fletching's coming in for me. Timing could have been a little bit better there. And I see he's got a nice little ranged army to chase us down. As we go in here for an engagement against him with a total of, quick math here, about 8 ships. And he's got about 8, and maybe with 9 on the way. So that's pretty close. But his resources could definitely be a little bit better. At least with the food, right? We were able to take all of our berries. And he wasn't able to comfortably go back to these berries. And so now we both got fletching on our armies, and we're both microing. When I say microing, I forget to put my units on attack stance here at one point. So, again, no judgment, please. Here, able to defend my fishing ships, defend that position, and pose some type of a threat. The scout's getting some value. The archers weren't attacking, so that's not pretty. But now it's all about water. You wanted to play islands, right? He banned the other maps, so we're going to give him a water fight. Kind of scary moment here, obviously, if you were to loop in. It's a close game. 56 pop versus 30. Versus 63, excuse me. But we're able to kind of corner his fishing ships, which is obviously valuable. As he is trying desperately to stabilize. And honestly, he has done such a good job in this game. Like, he is a really good player on islands. I've lost to him more than I beat him. And I will never upload my losses to him because it's just boring because he's so good and I'm so bad. The memes are true. That's not true. If it was an entertaining game, I absolutely would upload it, win or loss. Of course, I've uploaded plenty of losses before. But yeah, he has the idea of making monks because he knows I'm going to send knights in here. And still trying to defend, but we just rocked him. I guess I should show this. This isn't live, so. Just because of all the distractions, we're able to rock him there with some huge demos. And so, you know, with fishing ships being cleared up, we've now kind of got him fully surrounded with Navy, which is interesting. And this would shift all of his focus onto the land. Another nice demo shot. And unfortunately for him, in these types of positions, the player who has the water then is able to do so much in the long run. Like, I've got land pressure on him, and then I have full water control, which could allow me to fish, but most importantly, just he can't damage me at home. It makes life very easy for me there. I can drop town centers at villagers. How is he ever going to come back if he doesn't have water control? And he's got some pressure that could come in on his land, and he calls the GG. So a very short game, and we ended up winning this islands game because we had water. But I really wanted to show you guys. I was giggling like a little kid over here when he showed up to try and kill my fish. And he just stood there looking at the other side, or standing on the other side of the dock, and couldn't get them. Oh, man. Now, it is possible, and this is important to note, it is very possible that if I couldn't block it off, right? And I just brought the dock down here, that I could still have the same result, right? You could also make arguments that maybe the fish would be slightly more efficient if it's down here because there's deep fish, blah, blah, blah. But I think the confusion factor matters here. And I think the fact that, like, he ended up sending ships all the way back around, that's something that he probably only does if I dock block, right? Now, he could have done it because I had the transport, and that's a reasonable instance, I guess, to bring the fire ship. But it just felt like it was a really fun moment to take advantage of. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I remember there was a guy, and maybe I'm coming off as a hypocrite saying that I don't upload my losses. I have done plenty. But there was a guy who, back when Incas benefited from blacksmith upgrades, their villagers, that is, in the feudal age, there was a guy who would do a similar thing. Never got around to making a video about it. Obviously, the devs removed that bonus a few years ago, but it was really cool. He would, like, transport with 5 vills to go tower rush, but then he would use one of those villagers to dock the backside. So he would go everywhere trying to find his fishing ships, and you wouldn't find them. But if you can dock block, go for it, people. I mean, I don't know how many generations are going to allow that. I feel like here, you've got one more tile on the side. I remember panicking, actually, because I had seen that possibility, but I needed to add the stable first. And so then I knew I was going to use the shorefish. And I looked, and I was like, wait a second, that doesn't block it. And then I was like, oh, thank goodness. But yeah, there's like dock block potential here too, right? You know what would be next level? And this would not work at a high level, I don't think. But if you find a situation where you could block both sides, you could have a safe fish boom in the back, guys. Like, look, I could dock here, okay? And then, assuming this was more along the lines of this area here, dock block there as well. You've got enough fish back there. Maybe you just have 10 to 12 fishing ships, and then every time he goes in to try and kill your docks, you send out demos. I want you guys to try this, and if you end up doing that and it confuses people and it works, I want you to submit it in game submissions. So let me hear about it. That would be really cool. I do have a Discord, discord.gg/T90official for game submissions. I cannot promise that it will actually cast your games, but my mind is moving even faster now as I cast this game. I am really excited. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. T90 is just trying to change people's opinion of them on island maps. That's my whole existence these days. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.